Gorn. Max, let's jump straight in, rip the Band-Aid off, so to speak. Take us inside the rooms in the post-game yesterday. You've just been on the receiving end of the biggest comeback in AFL-VFL history. What were the rooms like?
The rooms were great. It's currently on both TVs behind you, Mick, so it's good to watch that.
Yeah, I'll be watching it all day on a replay.
No, look, we played pretty well for the first three quarters, and then once you give them a sniff, which we did, we gave them sort of 2 or 3 goals. Didn't give them. Saints got them themselves, but they kicked 2 or 3 early in the fourth, and it's pretty hard to stop momentum, especially where the way Saints were playing. If you have a look at some of their last of their 6 goals, Charman just stood and delivered from 55. Nass doing those marks, like they were pretty good marks and goals, and we started to lose set of bounce, which is something that we weren't losing in the first 3 quarters. So that's how they sort of got back into it. And then when it's 3 goals to play after that sort of comeback, it's extremely hard to stop. And we tried to pull a few levers, and Bailey Fritsch went behind the ball and ended up just being a stepladder for Nass. But and it just didn't really work for us. Leaders, most importantly, were probably responsible for a bit of that. I didn't play my best last quarter. The 6-6-6 rule at the end, which I'm sure is your next question, so I'll just jump straight to it. You guys can go home and I'll just do it.
Just give us the post-mortem.
You're holding a press conference here, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the 6-6-6, so I'm probably the only one in the field that knows that we got a warning in the second quarter. 1, I can remember it, and 2, they tell the ruckman.
Yep.
It's a weird, unique thing in football where they come in and tell the ruckman that you've got a warning. When we were about to step in the circle, I realised we got sort of 2 or 3 seconds to find a winger because there's not a winger on the other side. And from there, I probably didn't nail it, but in the end, it's 3 seconds. So I don't have much time, but I sent Vines to the wing and tried to get a forward in, but it was actually a back that we had too many of.
Yep.
So I was trying to count as quickly as I could in 3 seconds and couldn't. And then after that free kick happened, we probably didn't nail it as well. But we've never really done, it's a draw and we've given away a 6-6-6 free kick and then learn how to defend that.
So because you can do all the scenario training. That one's probably a little bit far-fetched, and it happens yesterday. So that's all. They're all the mechanisms. Take us inside the coach's room. What does Goody say? How does he spin it with the group?
This is we sort of spent 10 minutes in the rooms before Goody called us in, and we sort of talked amongst ourselves for a little bit and talked about the mechanism of the last play and tried to find out what actually happened. And then Goody brought us in, and then basically there's been 5 times I think this year where we just haven't known how to win. Giants in the first game, we lost by a kick out. Collingwood, we lost by a ruckman trying to kick a torp across goal, and then last week against Carlton, we also stuffed up as well, and I think there's a 5th one in there. So we're not knowing how to win in those close games. We do a fair bit of training with it, but right now we're just not knowing how to win, which comes down to a bit of resilience and ruthlessness.
Yeah,
and
so when that happens, so supporters want to lay the blame somewhere, and most of them will go to the coach.
Yep.
Is that fair if you don't know how to win in those circumstances?
Well, we do a lot of training, and in the end, what has happened is there's 18 guys that have managed to stuff that up on the field in terms of position with the 6-6-6. So we'll wear that. Beforehand, I think the boys just allowed Saints to get a few early goals, and then momentum's that hard to stop. And we probably still tried to take it to them a bit, where we probably could have potentially done a few other things around the midfield. And look, coaches are in with the players. We're all in. That's a 46 point world record loss. It's not just the players. It's definitely coaches and staff as well. But it's a disappointing one.
It's been a tough year, a disappointing year on the whole for the D's. And this is probably the lowest point. What can you say directly to the fans?
Look. Well, it looks like it when it's 45. I've got Titus looking at me, so I've got a fan that I can talk to,
Yes.
which is handy. And 45 point, it looks at you all just shut up shop. But that's not the case. You almost work harder in those games, and you would know as a former player, Nick, is when you sort of getting it handed to you, you're working even harder. So you got to almost work smarter, not harder. So we are trying our backsides off, and we all really, really want to win.
Where do you go from here?
Well, we got to learn how to win. We'll talk the talk again this week at training, and like we did going into the St Kilda game. With the guns, the St Kilda game, they touched us up in Alice. We disappointed against Carlton in the last quarter. We want to resurrect that. So all that talk's there, and then we get to the point and we don't do it. So Now's our chance to try and do it. We got West Coast and then 3 big games at the G, and they're all games that we want to try and show that we can do it.
All right. Hang around. We'll get. We done?
Cheer up.
We might go a
No.
couple.
No,
We'll
we're
keep going. We'll go harder. We'll go harder after the break.
Have a break.
Stick
We'll be
around.
back.
Yeah, I wasn't going to come in. No, I was always going to come in.
You,
Of course you
You're
were.
very brave. You
No,
know
I had
you're
a bad
coming.
night. Louis, my youngest, decided to wake up at 2 as well. So it's been a bad 20
Come on,
hours.
Louis.
Been about 12 hours. It was a good few hours before that in the first 3 quarters.
Before we move on, I want to just ask you straight out because I'm on the fan side of things here, and I'm out in the outer, and I'm in a bar after that game listening to the mumblings,
Yep.
and it's full of Melbourne fans. Is the coach safe? Can you tell me that? There's some very good coaches out there at the moment. There's John Longmire, there's Ken Hinckley, and you know from the inside, as you said, it might not be completely his fault, but he feels vulnerable out there with a rank and file Melbourne supporters that I'm aware of.
So you've teased, let's get rid of Melbourne questions, and then you've come back with, is the coach safe?
That's right.
One more. He just wanted one more.
I just wanted one more.
I mean, he's my favourite coach, and he's a premiership coach, and I find him extremely smart tactically. And in the end, he's had us 50 points up against St Kilda, a team that we were down by 50 in Alice Springs. So it's a 100-point turnaround in the space of 8 weeks. I don't think the last quarter's. I mean, he's in it with us, but the last quarter's not solely on him.
All right.
The club is obviously still in a little bit of flux. The CEO, is he on the ground now in at Melbourne, Paul Guerra? So he's been appointed.
Not till September.
Oh, Titus, you are.
Who's running the club?
He's close.
Hello, Titus.
Titus. Good morning.
I think he's close, Paul. I think he's doing some stuff while still at his previous employment, and then we still have obviously this commentary around we don't have a CEO. We do. David Chippendale has been the interim CEO, and he's doing a terrific job. So I understand that he's not there for the long run, and that might look weird in the public eye. But
So he's not making decisions. He's not making future-facing decisions for the club if he's not going to be there, though, is he?
yeah, but from my point of view, I think the decision's been made. Like, Goody's contracted, so the decision's been made by a previous CEO.
Yeah.
What did you say about the Stephen May appeal tonight?
I think he might be asking for a few more weeks.
It was a big turnaround. It was a big turnaround yesterday. So you get.
Well, hang on. On that note, everyone thinks it's a fait accompli afterwards. You, at one stage, weren't that bullish on the Saints' chances. Let's have a listen to you in the commentary.
Right, going into the final quarter.
This is the
So
start.
really, if St Kilda, and it seems very unlikely they'll get the win, if they're to get anything out of the remaining half hour of football, what do you want to see from them in the last quarter?
They're pretty simple, Nico. You just want to see them compete. This can't turn into a real blowout.
Wow.
Geez, that doesn't help me, does it?
That aged like milk. Yeah, it was awful. I
glad I heard that audio.
Full transparency. You talk about the frustrations of fans, and so in the end, it's Melbourne fans like Titus that are feeling it. At half time, I was texting with Kane about what we were going to do on the agenda setters tonight, showing a lot of St
Laying
Kilda's.
into St Kilda.
Laying into St Kilda's poor defensive, full transparency. So it is the emotional roller coaster you ride as a fan. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and there was talk around the round, and everyone was going, geez, and it gets even worse on Sunday. You got Richmond v Collingwood and then Melbourne v St Kilda. We've ended up being the game of the round at the very back end.
For all the wrong
For
reasons.
all the wrong reasons.
Maxie, sometimes in teams, in a moment of crisis, the team bonding exercise comes up, or the little trip away. Has that been talked about?
Quite the opposite today. We got a day off. We don't get to see anyone, but no, we go in tomorrow. I'm actually, I mean, you might think this is a company line. I'm really excited because it feels like a bit of a line in the sand for me. That's how I'm seeing it. We've given up one too many close wins. We're not ruthless enough. We're not resilient enough. Here's our chance to put a line in the sand and go forward. So I'm really excited to get in on Tuesday, nut out, because I'm at fault a bit in the 666 stuff, a little bit of the momentum stuff. So I'm excited to get in there, show some vulnerability around that, and hopefully we can have a really good back end of this
It
season.
must, though, when you look at it, new CEOs coming in, new president next year. Change must be in the back of everyone's mind after 2 years where it's been disappointing. And
change-
not just on this weekend, but this season as a whole. You must in your head be thinking that change will occur, not necessarily at any level, but that's the air there at Melbourne, surely.
Yeah, well, there's definitely change coming, and change is good, but that's not necessarily what I'm excited for. Like next year, change will happen. There'll be 10 players that aren't here. It happens every single year. There'll be a few staff that aren't here. That happens every single
You're
year.
off to Tassie.
I'm off to Tassie.
Oh, yeah.
Tassie,
Yeah,
you
which
kept saying.
I'm not there in the VFL next year, which is something that I'm not willing to play with. So I'm not that old. So change will happen, and I'm excited for change, but I'm also leaving that ground. I'm that excited to get the group we have back off the canvas. Like we are at the
you got
bottom
next
of
week?
bottom. We had a world record
Yeah.
loss.
No,
We're
I
at
hear
the
what you're
bottom
saying.
of the bottom right now. I'm excited to turn that around with the group that we have.
Well, some things don't change, and that means you'll be joining us later in the week. Who have you got next week?
West Coast at Marble again.
Oh, well, there we go.
What else is happening?
Until
Anything
that
else
lady.
in your life that's
Tour de France just finished
Tour de
last
France.
night.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Aussie had a win.
Yeah, and Aussie had a win yesterday. Caden Groves.
Yeah, correct.
That was a great weekend for the Aussies. So Ben O'Connor had a great win. Was that Thursday, Friday
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
week?
Thursday
And then
or Friday.
Caden Groves and, of course, Tadej Pogacar saluted again for his 4th Tour de France.
Good to finish on a positive. Go and
Great
have a
to do
lie
so.
down.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Max.
See you
you, Todd.
Friday. Mick in the Morning, Triple M.